following program is rated NAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
This week on the 5-Minute Warning.
A larger percentage of an ethnic group's population was impacted by the crack epidemic than the pain pill epidemic and all that was going on in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
However, there was not a war on crack as a let's make sure they're not doing it. It was, hey, if you're doing crack, the solution is to put you in prison. Where with pills, we're like, hey, the solution is to get you help.
Okay.
Once again, it's all about who's committing the crime.
The show that gives you everything and nothing at all. That's everywhere you don't want to be. It's Ruben, Mo B, and on the ones and twos, AG.
The 5-Minute Warning.
Welcome to a brand new episode of 5-Minute Warning. Once again, it's your man, Ruben, in the house. And as you can tell, once again, I'm by myself. That's okay. Unfortunately, AG is under the weather today, and hopefully Moby will join us shortly. But hey, you know, the show must go on. We still do what we do. So, first of all, happy June. Today, June 1st. That means we are, 21 days to the official day of summer. Look, man, it's summer when it gets hot. That's just my opinion. You know, I get it. They got seasons and all this stuff, but, you know, at this point in time, for the most part, I'm wearing short sleeve shirts, and if I'm not working, I got on shorts. So, you know, and I feel good in them. So it's one of those things where I'm kind of good in the hood, baby. I'm good in the hood, you know. It's warm and all that stuff. But yeah, it's around 72 where I'm at on a regular basis. It's not as warm as I like it to be, but it's also not as cold. So I'm kind of cool with this right now, you know. Other than that, you know, craziness has been going on. I know a lot of people, you know, have followed the NBA. I mean, we got NBA finals. Everybody thought the Thunder would be there. Nobody, except unless you live in, you know, Indiana, thought the Pacers would be there. So this will be interesting because both teams like to score. Both teams play okay defense, but more importantly, they like to score. So I expect this series to break scoring records from the years. But probably what's going to happen is they're both going to play some really good defense and not score the ball. Am I watching it? I don't know. I mean, I'm probably going to be a fourth quarter watcher. You know, the Thunder, you know, they showed their mettle. They won the West, you know, in the regular season. They won the postseason. You know, Indiana, it took them 6 games to beat the Knicks. It took, you know, Oklahoma 5 games to beat Minnesota. So it'll be, I think it's just going to be a lot of scoring. I think defense is going to come and go. It's going to come down to who scores the most. Just like in anything else, it comes down to who scores the most. So it'll be a good series. It probably will not be a sweep. I'm probably going to say Thunder in 6. But to be honest, I don't care. I mean, the Lakers been out. Thanks, Minnesota. Appreciate you. We've been out for a hot minute, you know, so yeah, I don't care. I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those fans that if your team's ain't in it, you don't really care. Hey, the one thing I am on this show is real and fair and honest as best I can. So that's the NBA. There we go on that. I had greatness to share. As you know, I decided to plant a garden in a plastic tub because I gotta get rid of this mole or two that lives in my yard, so I can't put it in the ground. And I also have rabbits that come through, so like same thing, you know. I don't want them eating my stuff. So it rained a little bit the last week, well, last 2 weeks really. You know, it got a little bit of sun, but as I cut the grass, I looked. Oh, there's Moby. Moby in the house.
What's up?
What's going on, player?
You know, ain't shit, chilling.
I mean, you know, it's bright there. You got the sun shining on you.
I mean, you know, I try to have good lighting. Effective lighting is key.
True that, you know.
Or maybe it's just my aura shining through.
Hey, man. I mean, I don't see the high pro glow, but whatever works, baby. So no, I was just talking to the crew about, you know, I've had the garden for a little over 2 weeks now, and today I cut grass, but yesterday I was like, well, let me look at this thing. So I got plants. I got some broccoli plants popping up, and I got what's the other one? Carrots. Yes, carrots. So I got plants growing. So I'm extremely happy about that. You know, watered it again today. They said, you know, for the potatoes, they said about 100 days for potatoes. So I'm not expecting a lot. I did put a small potato. Plant a small potato in the ground. You know, yes, I looked that up. I did see it in the movie Martian, but I mean, I wanted to make sure, because just because it's in a movie, that don't mean that shit's real. But apparently it is. You put a little potato in the ground, and in about 100 days, you'll have a potato plant, and you'll have potatoes in the roots. So in 100 days, about 85 now, I'll let you know how that goes. So yeah, man, got my little garden started. I'm kind of excited, you know, because one of the big things is I want to do a garden in the grass. But once again, yeah, got the carrots. Not the carrots. I got the rabbits, and then I got to get rid of this mole guy before I can really start growing stuff, because I don't want to, you know, grow stuff and then it just eats it. I'm just gonna be pissed. So there's that. Now the Mocha Cowboy. So the lawnmower situation. No, I'm not still electric. Shout out to Dad. You know, Dad hooked a brother up with his lawnmower because he retired from cutting grass, and he was like, "You want my lawnmower?" I was like, I mean, if you gonna give it to me, most definitely I'll take it. And you know, the big issue was, he was like, you gotta get a shed, because I didn't have a shed at the time. So I went and bought a shed, and with some help from some of my friends, including AG, and shout out to Terry. Terry came through and helped me out. The shed's been up for a while. That's where it lives. The gas power mower is phenomenal. You know, shout out to Dad once again for hooking a brother up. It's like 5 years old. It's a good mower. I just had to change the air filter in it when I got it. So yeah, man. Now I'm not gonna poop on it. I'm not gonna shit on the electric one. I would say this: if you're gonna go electric, go with the batteries. Don't go with the cord, because I lost a cord because, of course, my dumb ass ran over the cord, and well, doesn't work without power. So had to go buy another cord. That sucked. So yeah, I would just say, you know, I would say eventually I'll probably go electric, but go with the battery ones. Don't go with the cord. The cord, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna front. I'm kind of a lazy dude, so as we all know, really. So the cord is easy, and plus I got it from my uncle. Shout out to my uncle. So like, yeah, and then it started blowing the fuses in my house too. So I was like, yeah, that's got to go. It's got to go. So it went. It is now somewhere. That's all I can say about that. So yeah, we're back on gas, and the gas cuts the grass well, and we'll keep doing that, and life is beautiful on that. So, man, what's going on with you, Mo B? Yeah, you're on mute, bro.
No, man, I just wasn't trying to stop your home and gardening rendition on the podcast. So I was like, hey,
Well, it's funny that you say that, because there's one more thing, but I'll let you go first.
Nah, man, go ahead. You got all the momentum right now.
So I broke down and I had to get a new weed whacker. And so I bought one, battery powered, because the cord shit I'm not doing. I learned that lesson. And it's got like a wheel on it, so you can roll it on the ground, so you can cut the sides properly. That thing's awesome. I hate weed whackers I hate it with a passion. But this thing, it made life a little easier, man. My grass, it's not hanging off the sides anymore, and stuff like that. I felt proud of myself today because I did that first before I cut the grass. So I edged it all up and stuff, and then I cut the grass. Hey, man, I'm proud of my front yard. It looks decent. Now, there's some more shit to make it look good. I gotta spend some more time, do some more work and stuff like that. But I understand that. But the yard, I'm gonna give myself an A- today, because I got some stuff, and it looks like somewhat of a professional came through, and evened all the corners out and shit, and nothing's really hanging off. So I mean, there's some stuff, because I have to relearn how to use a weed whacker, but I'm pretty happy. Not gonna front. It was pretty awesome. So the green thumb today gets an A-. So all right, enough of that. What's been going on with you, man?
I mean, man, I'm just out here living the dream, man. Apparently somebody just notified me that I'm drinking somebody else's Gatorade right now, but
I mean, it's your house, right?
No. I never say any stupid shit like it's my house. Like, I'm just somebody who pays for shit here, but it's not, nor will it ever be my house.
Well, I guess so.
I'm just a motherfucker that gets to pay for shit.
Did you pay for that Gatorade?
Actually, I didn't pay for this Gatorade, so that's probably why it tastes so good.
That's awesome. So the person who is upset about the Gatorade, I mean, clearly they just sent you a text saying you're drinking my Gatorade.
I'm just saying, if I wasn't drinking the Gatorade, like, bad shit might be happening to me right now. Like, this Gatorade is possibly saving my life right now. So, like, yeah, I appreciate it.
I think it's interesting that they instead of coming to you, they text you like, "Hey, you're drinking my Gatorade," just to let you know.
Nah, man. See, respectfully, that means they actually know that I'm doing something. That means they're watching the camera, which means I gotta make sure I don't say nothing too inappropriate.
I hear you.
Also means I couldn't lie. You know what I'm saying? I would, because if I wasn't on the podcast right now and somebody was like, "Who drank my Gatorade?" I could do the Bill Cosby, like, on every episode, confused look. What Gatorade? I don't even drink.
Hilarious. So are you saying that because they're watching the podcast from another part of the location where you're at, they saw that you were drinking that Gatorade?
Yep.
I mean, well, you got caught,
look, man, and I couldn't even say nothing about it. It's just like, yeah.
You got my bad. You got me.
I did that until they said it. I didn't even realize I was drinking somebody else's Gatorade.
I mean, you went to the refrigerator and was there.
I was thirsty. There was a Gatorade. I did it.
I mean, you in the refrigerator you probably paid for. You know,
man.
And
payment doesn't matter, man. It's a team effort on this front over here, man. You know. that is my rule.
Are they upset about you drinking the Gatorade, or they just?
I have no idea. I'll find out later. I mean, look, at this point in time, Gatorade gone. Like, that's just what it is. Like, you know, we just need to move on.
Did you get all caps, or did you get the lower caps?
No, it doesn't matter. Like, I just, like, honestly, at this point in time, no matter what happens from this point on, it's like, why are you bringing up old stuff?
You stole my Gatorade.
I think we need to move forward and stop focusing so much on the past. Let's talk about the future.
Well, that's awesome. So, let's talk about the future. So today we decided to do something a little different, because normally, you know, we're gonna open up the fourth wall. We do that quite a bit here. Normally, what happens is I send out a list of what we're gonna talk about, or maybe somebody has a suggestion. And you know what? That's a good suggestion. We're going to talk about that. And usually I send it out and just be like, hey, this is what we're talking about today, yada, yada, yada. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know what to talk about, because there's a lot we can talk about. And there's certain things that we probably talk about more than others. And I was like, you know what? We're going to do something different. And so what we decided to do different is that today, I and then MOB, we're going to have a different topic. We're going to have a topic that we're going to talk about. Now, let me make sure I make this clear. What I'm not saying is AG and MOB does not have any say in the process. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is, you know, usually it just comes down to me to get it done. And I'm fine with that. And today I decided to do something a little different. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to go over what I have first, and then MOB's going to go over what he has. And, you know, we're going to call it a day, because, you know, AG is under the weather. Peace to my man. He'll be back next week, hopefully. You know, so we'll get this done. So one thing we've never really talked about in the show, MOB, is white collar crime. Like, we don't talk about it because, I mean, honestly, I think it's a fair assessment that none of us are really involved in any type of white collar crime. So,
I mean, I'm gonna let you elaborate, because I feel like we have talked about white collar crime, and I feel like to just say, hey, we're gonna discuss white collar crime is kind of a weird topic.
Well, I got that. Let me cook a little bit. I got a way we're going with it. So we probably have, for God knows, at 277 episodes, we probably talked some everything. However, today I thought it was important that we talk at least a little bit about white collar crime, because I know we haven't talked about it in at least a year, probably two. So everybody knows that earlier this week, there are some people who got pardoned by Trump. Some of those people were people who've been there forever and in bad health. Some of the people were NBA YoungBoy for whatever reason. And then some people, such as the Chrisleys, you know, even though they were convicted of white collar crime, they're saying they're innocent, whatever. Once again, nothing to do with me. But the one thing you do hear a lot about is, like, when people do white collar crime, like, they go to prisons of luxury, you know. Now, I don't care who you are. If your freedom is taken away for some reason or another, that ain't exactly, prison ain't that. You know, it ain't free. Just because you can walk around the prison, you can't leave the prison, you know. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I want to explain about what is white collar crime. Now, white collar crime is pretty much more nonviolent, financial crimes. Like your Enrons and, tax evasion and shit like that. Like they got Al Capone on tax evasion. Not killing a whole bunch of motherfuckers or racketeering. They got him on tax evasion. I mean, the karma there is just different. Usually it's nonviolent, financially motivated, violation of trust, such as like fraud, embezzlement, insider trading, money laundering, bribery, stuff like that. Or Ponzi schemes. That's just some fraud stuff right there. Everybody a lot of people are pretty aware of the Ponzi situation that befuddled the Miami Hurricanes in the late 90s. So it was late 90s. So I mean, it happens all the time. If you're doing some disloyal, dirty shit and you're making money off it, that's pretty much white collar crime. Just in case people didn't know. So I did some impact. What can happen if you get caught? Well, you can get fined. There's some other penalties. You can go to jail and then restitution to victims. It all depends on how big the crime is. So if it's tax evasion, you're probably getting a fine from the federal government. You probably got to pay back whatever you stole or didn't pay. And then you can also go to jail depending on how much it is, or how much the judge likes or dislikes you, or the jury or whoever. So yeah, as I was doing my research, the average incarceration of white collar crime is about 23 months. So literally, most people who do, funny money, dirty, I'm lying to you all the time type of shit, but it's not violent, you go to jail for about 2 years. In comparison to violent crimes, the average life sentence is 4 years. Now, my assumption is that 4 years is going to be more manslaughter cases, or you did that shit, but there are reasons why you did that shit.
It's more than manslaughter. I mean, you talk about assault. You could talk. I mean, there's a lot of.
Yeah, there's a lot, but it ain't like first degree. Nah, your ass, first degree murder. You throw away the key, they eating that shit. But which tells you that a lot of people, I guess I can't really say that. Let me fix my words on that. I was gonna say a lot of people don't get first degree murder. I would probably say, in the comparison of the amount of people who go to jail for violent crimes, I mean, you don't get a ton of people who go to jail for longer than 5 to 6 years, which is really interesting on that. But that's a topic for a different day, because I don't want to talk about that, because, if you watch the show, you know how I feel about capital punishment and all that shit. And that's just a different conversation. But one thing I thought that was interesting is hey man, if you get caught any drug offenses, the average of drug offenses is 36 months. So hold on for a second. You could get caught with some weed or whatever drug. You could go to jail for more time than somebody stealing a whole bunch of old people's money. I don't know. I think it's a little crazy. I think it's a little unbalanced, and of course, people are talking about how now that marijuana is legal, people who are in jail for marijuana crimes should be released or pardoned or whatever. Not necessarily against that. I think it's depending on the case, but if you just got caught with a dime bag and you got 4 years in jail, that's kind of excessive, and for those of you who were around, I think Mo B, you were kind of 2 or 3. We had the Reagan era, and then you had Nancy Reagan with the Just Say No. Lord knows.
Yeah, I was around for the Reaganomics.
Yeah, the Just Say No, man. It's bro, you got a dime bag. You're in jail for like 10 years and shit. And it's like, I mean, it was just crazy. Like, trumped up charges. But I will say this. Like, as a kid, you know, not that I was into drugs at all anyway, because I wasn't. But I mean, between that and I would say more so the parenting, you know, I feared my parents more than I feared the cops. Which, you know, a lot of people can't say that these days. But yeah, you know. So yeah, it's different. But yeah, I mean, you can go to jail. You can steal millions of dollars from people and go to jail less time than, you know, having some drugs in your car. To me, I find that a little unbalanced, you know? So my question to you, Moby, is this. Should drugs on a certain level be considered white collar crime? Like just holding it. Now, if you're trafficking it, it's completely different. Like you got like kilos in your car. It's like, what are we doing? Like, but if you just get caught, even you get caught with an ounce of cocaine, you know, should that be considered a white collar crime?
All right. So I'm trying not to do the race bait thing, but
I'm not even.
No, but
I'm
just
trying
saying,
to stay away from that. Yeah,
but it's impossible to, Ruben, and it's disingenuous too, because when we say white collar crime, what we really mean is white people crime.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that black people are incapable of committing white collar crime. I'm not saying that at all. I'm simply saying anything that a large group of white people can do always has a lesser prison term. Okay. Even when you talk about drugs, because part of that Reaganomics thing, they literally, for lack of a better phrase, gerrymandered the rules to make it so that black people would get locked up for longer than white people. Because if I got found with a crack rock, that was a more offense, a heavier offense than if I got caught with pounds of cocaine.
Yeah,
and you might ask, like, what do you mean? Literally, you can look it up. If you got caught with just cocaine, which the reason that is a thing is because mainly cocaine was expensive as shit, which is why crack got created. Because they condensed the amount of cocaine necessary to make a profit.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you say should drug crime be white collar crime, for a long time, cocaine was a white collar crime.
Okay.
The new war on drugs didn't really shift until like narcotics and pills started to become a problem with white communities, where they're like, oh man, our white communities are getting strung out because more people were affected, a larger percentage of an ethnic group's population was impacted by the crack epidemic than the pain pill epidemic and all that was going on in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
However, there was not a war on crack as a let's make sure they're not doing it. It was, hey, if you're doing crack, the solution is to put you in prison. Where with pills, we're like, hey, the solution is to get you help.
Okay.
Once again, it's all about who's committing the crime.
Correct.
So, I mean, I think the question is disingenuous without talking about the race, although I understand why people want to try to talk about it without race, because people always claim that, why are you always trying to make it about race? I would love it for it not to be about race. Unfortunately, the evidence says that it has a lot to do with fucking race.
Gotcha. So, I mean, this is just because I guess I didn't as I was thinking about this, not that I didn't think about it, I didn't think hard about it. We'll put, adding the race thing in there. Because you're right. It's hard to talk about white collar crimes and then bring in another subject, such as like drugs and drugs paraphernalia and the amount, and not talk about race, because, that's the way the laws are created. They're not necessarily created for the, I would say the only real law that is probably even as best as it's gonna get, and I say that like that on purpose, is murder. And even murder, there are a lot more black people go to jail for murder for longer times than white people.
I say, nah, that's pretty, it's not even there either. So.
Yeah, I mean, but at least motherfuckers going to jail. Even though I found
unless you wear a badge.
Yes, yep. I did think it was weird though, a whole bunch of violent crimes were 4-year averages. I thought that was weird because there are a lot of fucking violent crimes out here.
Yeah, I'm about to say, Ruben, because when you think about violent crime, you only think about the big shit. You don't think about
murder,
simple
rape,
assault. Yeah, you don't think about simple assault. You don't think about armed robbery or robbery or intent. Those are all still considered violent crimes.
And I guess when you get something, even when you get some pled down to misdemeanor, you're not getting 20 years. You may get 10. But yeah, you're right. There are a lot of violent crimes out here.
Time served.
I'm sorry?
Was it average time sentenced 4 years or average time served 4 years? Because that's a difference too.
What it says is, it just says the average sentence.
Okay.
So it didn't say.
Nah, actually, I think 4 years. I think 4 years is about right.
Well, in the state of Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia, life is only 15 years in Virginia. It's not life. It's 15 years. Now, unless they've changed that. And
once again, like I said, 4 years just sounds right because there's so many things that fall under the classification of violent crime.
Okay, so, and I guess I would say, I don't.
I'd almost say most violent crime is probably domestic related. So
which is
domestic abuse. Yeah, it is. But I mean, when you think about domestic abuse, especially first time offenders, most of those people ain't getting 15, 20 years.
Yeah, you're right about that. And I mean, I have a pretty hard stance on domestic violence. But it also depends on one or two different things. It's hard. It's man.
It's not a very hard stance if it depends on things.
Well, I mean, but if you're beating up your significant other, yeah, man, you gotta go. And I did not say gender, because the problem is you don't see a lot of the situations where women abuse the male, but it happens. It definitely happens. So you don't see a lot of those, but I mean, I think it's, at least from what you see, what is shown. Now I haven't looked into the numbers, but I think that, for the most part, if a guy beats up a woman, I mean, and it can be proven, that dude's gone. Deuces, you're out. But you're right. It's probably somewhere around 4 to 5 years, because they didn't necessarily kill them, which is still, but that's a topic for another day. We'll need to jump into that. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It says here that one of the things it did say, I guess there are levels. So there's white collar crime is the least serious of the three. Then there's drugs, and then there's, violent crime. I mean, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like having 3 separate levels is one level too many. I feel like the drugs and the white collar crime should be the same level, especially if you're not hurting anybody else. If it's just you, to me that's the same level. Now, when it becomes violent, then you go to violent crimes, and that's just what it is. I mean, what do you think about that?
I mean, I don't know, man. I honestly have it. When it comes to crime, I don't really think about it that deep. And part of it is because I just have a general cynical view of our justice system anyway. So to think about crime in any capacity just would upset me if I thought about it too much or tried to read into it too much. And I'm not saying, I hate when people go, well, we have the best justice system compared to other countries. I'm not comparing us to other countries because I ain't lived in other countries. Well, I have, but not as an adult. I've lived in this country. And this country doesn't even do what we quote unquote say we're supposed to do with liberty and justice for all. We don't even make a bullshit ass attempt to actually mean that statement. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there is some person who's probably less pigmented than me that feels like what I'm saying is sacrilegious because they're going to say, this system is a great system. And then they go, does it have some mistakes? Sure. Yo, man, when it comes to a system that's supposed to treat everyone fairly and equally, when you can't then pause and put a but, does it have some mistakes? Because if it has some that you recognize and understand, then you're not actually living to your statement.
Correct. And I mean, and I would say that some people who feel like the justice system is doing well, who make a statement like that, they've probably never really been involved with the justice system at all.
No. They've never been on the side of the justice system that is not
Against
treating them with idealism.
That's fair. Yeah. Because I mean, I've had a speeding ticket every now and then, but I can sit here and say, have I ever been in front of a judge for some shit? No. But I also know that our justice system ain't. I mean, I don't even want to say great. It's not even good. It's
bro,
it's okay at best.
Compared to to a lot of other countries, man, we doing it. But that doesn't. But we claim that we're the cream of the crop, but we don't really live up to that. And then, I mean, when it comes to matters of justice like that, it's so dependent on your life experience. That's why it's really hard for me sometimes to even get but so upset at white people when they feign naive. Because like when white people go, well, why didn't they just comply? Because the easiest response is, well, they shouldn't have to. But that's the wrong response to give white people. Because I would like to say is, hey, you've never been asked to comply like that. Well, I would have just did. Well, no, you were never asked to do that. Like you were never asked to comply in that manner, and you never would be because of who you are or what you look like. So you can't say, well, I would have just, or why didn't they just? Because you will never be in that position. You will never be in a position like when you get pulled over. The police do not walk up to you and already have their hand on their holster. They just don't. And then when you say, well, why didn't they comply? We're not being sincere and genuine now because we're not coming from the same place.
I mean, I feel confident saying everybody has that conversation as from a parent to a child about how to deal with police. But I will say that
I'm going to tell you that I firmly believe, and not firmly believe, because I've been around a lot and heard and actually talked. There are a lot of, especially white kids, who've never had a talk about what to do with police because it's never applied to them. It's always just been like, hey, they're the police, they're the good guys, so hey, just listen. And that's the end of the conversation. Like where most black people are like, hey, you get pulled over, hands on the wheel, talk really slow, don't raise your voice.
Make sure you have your stuff in your hand, ready for them. I mean, yeah, it's just like even now, man, like, you know how some people have their, what's it called? Their registration in their glove compartment. I don't have my registration in my glove compartment because why reach all the way over there? I have it closer to me, whether it's in my visor or whether it's in the seat pocket beside me. Yeah, because, my thing is, hey, don't make sudden moves. And to me, making that reach is a sudden move. And
even if you announce it beforehand.
Oh, man, I haven't been stopped in years. So I'm going to just put this forward ticket for anything. So, and then when I did, bro, I had my stuff in my hand. Like, once I saw the lights and I pulled over, 10-2, and the stuff is in my hand, ready to give. How you doing? I mean, back then when they had insurance cards and not being on your cell phone, like, I had my insurance card, even though in the Commonwealth of Virginia, it's not required to have that when you get stopped. But in some states it is. Just duly noted. Those states out there. And I think Jersey is one of them. They say license, registration, and proof of insurance. And so, like, it's just not that way in Virginia. So, yeah, man, I mean, yeah, it's just one of those things. It sucks. But I remember having that conversation. It's yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. That's it. No smart ass comments. Speak as little as possible. Get in and get out. That's simple.
Once again, I'm telling you, a lot of white people do not have conversations with their children about protocol like that because it's not necessary. Now, am I saying that no white person has ever been on the wrong side of police brutality or police overstepping? Fuck no. That shit happens all the time. I'm just saying it doesn't seem to happen at the frequency, and there's
at least that we know of.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't seem to happen as a frequency, and it doesn't have a cultural acceptance.
Negativity?
No, cultural acceptance. Yeah. Like, we as black people have accepted that's how it is with police. Even if we say it shouldn't be that way, fuck the police, we can say all those things, but we still have that talk with our children, like, hey, this is because we've accepted that's how it's going to be.
Yeah. But I would also say this, in a different world, I feel like it shouldn't matter what color your skin is. That's a conversation that every parent should have with their child, regardless, because the last thing you want is your child being a smartass to a police, like, because you might get the wrong one that day. So, like, I ain't trying to parent.
You don't see the innate problem with that statement, though? Because I'm going to ask you, what law is it saying that you can't be a smartass?
You're right. No, I'm 100% with you.
So the fact that Like, don't get me wrong. Do I think anyone should be a smart ass to the police? No, because if I'm being 100% honest, police have a difficult enough fucking job, and they have enough fucking bad ones doing it to make the good ones' jobs even fucking harder. Because as soon as they walk up to the car, I assume they're a dick with a badge, whether they are or not. Now, I'm not saying I treat them that way, because I'm with you. I just want the shit to be over with. But every cop that walks up to me and wants to talk to me, I assume that you're the motherfucker I gotta be afraid of.
I mean, especially, they got guns and tasers and pepper spray and
See, it's not
weapons.
it's not the fact that they have a gun. It's not the fact that they have weapons. It's not the fact that they have a badge. It's the fact that they have all of that in combination, which lets me know that they're automatically able to get away with things that most people can't. So because of that, I have no defense. Like, if it was just people with a gun, hey, legally, I could have a fucking gun.
Yep. See, Brett just saw a guy walk up on a cop with an AR-15 after being pulled over. Cops never took a shot. First of all,
and then he had the complexion for protection.
I mean, just an AR-15. That's what he's crazy. But yeah, hopefully one day
I don't have to use my imagination to know his pigmentation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, yeah. So, but yeah, just want to talk a little bit about white collar crime, and we
we
need to
never actually talked about white collar
we
crime.
did talk about it a little bit. I mean, because man, it's like when it's all said and done, you're right. White collar crime is boring.
No,
It's boring to talk about.
No, it is not. White collar crime is actually some of the most interesting. Like, hey man, anybody ever really fucking explained Enron? That shit's interesting as fuck. The Bitcoin motherfucker scammers out there, they've made so many documentaries that I can't fucking stop watching, because like, it's amazing that these motherfuckers convince people to give them real money for funny money.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
crazy.
give me this real money for this imaginary money.
I mean,
Nothing could go wrong.
Hey, I mean, we could have a whole episode on, what you call them.
Yeah,
What's
I'm
that shit
just saying, Ponzi schemes make more sense to me than the Bitcoin thing. Like, I can see how the Ponzi scheme thing could get you, because you don't know that somebody's borrowing money from you to pay some. You don't see where the money is just funneling. But the Bitcoin thing, like, we had professional addicts where OBJ got one of his whole salaries in Bitcoin, and now it's worth like what, $15?
Bro, Bitcoin is...
And they thought they was hitting the lick, and I'm not mad at them because everything said they were. I mean, Steph Curry was on commercials and shit. Like, hey, yo, how do you have the most clean, wholesome NBA basketball player advertising your funny money? It can't be, and Steph
I
never took heat.
I bet Steph Curry to get paid in Bitcoin.
Exactly.
I mean, hey man, long as the money's green or the check cashes, does it really matter?
This is not me being mad at Steph Curry. I mean, people advertise shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't say in the commercial that he was a Bitcoin expert. You know what I'm saying? He read what they told him to say.
Yep. He did it well.
And he cashed his real check as everybody else was losing their real checks.
Yeah, man.
So I disagree with you about the white collar crime not being interesting. That's some bullshit. Some of that white collar crime shit is very interesting.
My bad. But yeah, you're right. It depends which white collar crime you're talking about. But yeah, man, like, hey, if you didn't know if this shit was fake or not, you know how you should have known it was fake when Trump got one. That's when you should have known Yeah, let me get my money the fuck out of here.
I mean, shit. He's even actually he was actually late to the party. Like by the time Trump got involved, you should have already known it was fucked up. So I have no sympathy for you. It's like somebody getting catfished in 2024. It's like, hey man, at this point in time, there's just too much technology out there for you to get catfished.
This show's been out for 10 years, and they've had people there multiple times.
Get catfished. You gotta want to get catfished like that.
I mean, and Bitcoin and
the GameStop scheme, the GameStop stock scheme. Yo, white collar crime is interesting as fuck, man.
Well, I apologize for making that statement.
I'm just saying, it's interesting. It's just,
it's boring to some people. Like, they made a whole movie about it. The other guys, that whole movie was about, white collar crime and Enron and stuff like that. So it's like, I mean, there's real money to be made on it. But yeah, our listeners don't want to hear all that though, because that means we would have to know all explain it.
I can't, and honestly, I can't explain some of it. I just know that it's really interesting that people, and I try not to be that dude that wants to judge somebody for getting hustled, because I mean, hey, I feel like almost anybody's capable of getting hustled. Some of the hustles, I just be like, hey, you might get your boy, but you ain't gonna get your boy like that. Yeah, I can get hustled, but not like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just, it's sad when they go after old people though, man. Like, that shit is fucked up. Like, cause man, they're just trying like, well, they some older people look at people differently than like we do. Hey man, if you put this money in, you can make this much. And I mean, let's be real, stock market is kind of, same type of shit. The only difference is everybody's putting in real money and getting out real money. Whereas Bitcoin,
well,
I mean,
that's debatable too, but
yeah, I guess we could debate that a different day. But yeah, man, like, I mean, I'm not gonna say do crime. Just don't do crime. All crime is bad. White collar crime, you just don't go to jail as long. And if you fuck around and like the right person, you might get pardoned. I mean, which I still to this day.
50 minutes into the show, and we've established that, hey, you shouldn't do crime.
Yeah. But man, NBA YoungBoy apparently got put in jail because he was on probation and he had a firearm, which is illegal. And he got let out. And I was like, I don't remember anything about NBA YoungBoy saying that he loved Trump. But some people are like, well, you think he's trying to build the young black people? And I'm just kind of like, I guess.
It's all a distraction. It's not about appealing to them. It's about giving them something to talk about so they're not paying attention to the other shit. Yeah, so they're not paying attention to other shit. That's all it is, man.
Oh, so we're giving you a plane. Hey, look, man, I just pardoned NBA YoungBoy over here. What? I can't believe you did. You motherfucker. So, cool, man. So, what you got?
I just wanted to give a long pause, make it seem like I
see that, man. I was like,
so look, man, the topic I got, and I want people to hear my entire statement. But I know the great part about the internet is, like, if somebody really wants to, they can cut up a piece of what I say and make it sound like I'm just being a hater up here, or that like I'm anti something. But like, hey man, happy Pride Month. And the reason I wanted to talk about that is because, like, I was just in DC and it wasn't even June yet. So technically it was still May 31st. And maybe I'm a little bit salty because I'm just like, hey man, can we get past my birthday before everything becomes like Happy Pride Month thing? Like, hey man,
I know about that. I know.
Can we get into June first? You know what I'm saying? And my logic was like, hey man, on the last day of January, do people be saying Happy Black History Month? No, because it ain't fucking Black History Month yet. It's January still. I get it, man. Like, look, I know Trump ended, or the department ended a whole bunch of whatever culturally identifiable month. They're supposed to all be quote unquote canceled. But hey, man, happy Pride Month. Now, what I would like to talk to the community about, and when I say the community, I just don't feel like saying all the letters, and that's not me being disingenuous. I just don't want to miss a letter and somebody think I'm tripping about it. But the LGBTQ, all those letters, the Pride community. This is what my ask for June is. It's not that you shrink yourself. It's not that you silence yourself. Be as loud and proud as you possibly want to be. But what I do think, and I hope, but I know is not going to happen, is please do not crucify everybody in June that also isn't waving a rainbow flag. Because just because somebody isn't waving the flag with you doesn't mean they're your enemy. Doesn't mean that they're against you. It doesn't mean that they're a homophobe, because, man, it's so annoying for people to just automatically assume, like, hey, are you celebrating Pride Month? No. You know why I'm not celebrating it? Because I'm not actually part of the community. Do I want you to celebrate it? Absolutely. Do I want you to be proud of who you are and not feel like you need to shrink for anybody? Hell yeah. I'm with you. I'm a fucking ally of all allies for that. Hell, I'll damn near be an accomplice, but I'm not part of the community. So if I don't have a rainbow sticker on the back of my car, that doesn't mean I'm your enemy. If I also don't agree that everybody else should be a part of this Pride celebration with you, that's unfair. Now, I granted, I've realized that the reason, and this is all my opinion, so this is the part where it's going to be unpopular. The reason that Pride is treated so much different than cultural pride is because white people are involved with it. And the reason I say that is because it really feels like if you tell a white person they can't celebrate something, or if you tell a white person they can't do something, they have this word that they use all the time called fair. And I don't know about your household, Ruben, but like I ain't never heard a lot of black people leaning on the word fair. I don't hear about a lot of Asians leaning on the word fair. Hispanics leaning on the word fair. People who lean the heaviest on this magical word called fairness, white people. So what I'm saying is there's a lot of people in this Pride community that are going to assume and treat everybody that if you're not celebrating and waving the flag with me, you are my enemy. And that is not the case. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of motherfuckers out here who are your enemy. And I will say it right with you. Fuck those people. Fuck them all. Like, they're all, like, they can all suck a bag of dicks. Like, and hopefully it's a heterosexual male and you're forcing them to suck bag of dicks. Like, that's how much I am with you as far as people who are homophobic. Like that, and really stretch out of their way to be homophobic. Because at the end of the day, whether you agree with somebody else's lifestyle, at the end of the day, it's their lifestyle. So I could totally be against homosexuality, but I'm not going to have to prove a point by telling you that you're going to hell, because who the fuck am I to tell you that?
Yeah, I mean, what I got to do with me?
I'm not the person that's making that decision anyway. But yeah, so I'm really, Ruben, what do you think about this? Because this every June, I feel this real weird uncomfortableness about like how aggressive the LGBT community is about like anybody who's not waving the flag with them. Like I remember when Kevin Hart he was supposed to host with the Oscars or something, and he basically just said he didn't necessarily support homosexuality, and Kevin Hart's homosexual. We can't he's homophobic. We can't let him. It's like, yo, he just That's not how he doesn't agree with your lifestyle. If everybody has to agree with your lifestyle for you to do it, then it's your problem. Now it is you are the one with the problem now. Because as a heterosexual male, if everybody around me decides, hey, we don't want to be heterosexual no more, we're going to be homosexual, I don't care, because I'm still what I am, and I'm going to be okay with that. I don't need everybody to peer pressure. Ain't going to do it for me in that sense. Like it just ain't. So what do you think about that, man? Like, I mean, am I tripping about this? Like, am I the only one that's ever felt that way?
No, I mean, I agree with you 100%. You know, I think it's super important just to realize that, hey, man, just because, like, every group has allies, and whether it's black, whether it's, you know, pride, whether it's Asian, whatever, even white people, everybody's got allies, you know? And I think it's super important to realize that, hey, you know, all my allies are not going to look like me. All my allies are not going to necessarily believe what I believe. All of my allies are not going to be what I'm looking for in an ally. It's just an ally. I mean, I'm 100% with you. It's like, I don't want to be, because to me, it's almost like hurt people. You know? What I don't want to be is treated this way because I didn't necessarily say this. And because I think that's unfair, regardless of what the situation is. You know? And sometimes, you know, being a proper ally is just not being a bad ally. You know, because that's the other things, right? You could think you're an ally, and then you go out here and do some dumb shit, and you realize, yeah, I probably really should have said that, or I probably shouldn't have done that. Now I look like an enemy. You know? And hey, everybody's not perfect. And we're supposed to accept people for who they are. And if we can't do that, then we already are jacked up. So yeah, I 100% believe you. I mean, I'm with you 100%. I mean, I am a heterosexual male, but I most definitely feel like everybody should be able to live and be the person that they want to be. And regardless of race, creed, sexual orientation, whatever. That's just the way I feel about it. Because when it's all said and done, there's only one person who's living my life, and that's me. I ain't sharing it with nobody. And even if I did have a significant other, we're not exactly sharing one person's life. We would share the life that we have together. So, yeah, I 100%.
I mean, I guess what sparked this, and the reason, like, every Pride Month I start to feel like this is because I can't remember. It was a couple years ago, and I was literally downtown, and I was just at some, I won't say the restaurant name, it was some locally owned restaurant, and I was in, and some guy just made a scene, like just blew up the spot and was like, yada yada yada, y'all don't want to treat me with respect. Why don't you have your Pride Month flag up? You had a Black History Month flag up. You have Black Lives Matter all up in here. And the owner of the place, or the manager at the time, said, because we're a black-owned business. So you're saying you don't support the gay community? And I was just thinking to myself, so because they don't have a flag up means they don't support y'all?
Yeah, that's
how did this correlation happen? Because I thought it was simple when he said we're a black-owned business. That makes perfect sense to have the Black Lives Matter stuff up there and celebrating Black History Month. But they didn't have a picture of a rainbow with a line through it saying anti. Like they didn't. I mean, I'm just like, how did we get here? But I realized that's not.
No.
As crazy as that sounds, that's not an anomaly of a situation. That's really how a lot of people within the community feel about it. And I get it. When you feel like you've been oppressed, like, you know, you might be a little bit more sensitive to thinking that somebody is oppressing you. So I'm not trying to be disingenuous, but I really hate when the Pride movement gets intertwined with like cultural stuff. Like it's the same as black, and it's like it's not. And here's the thing, I'm not about to say homosexuality is a choice. That's not what I'm gonna say. But I know somebody's gonna chop up what I say, that like, hey, it's a choice if you let me know. But I can't choose to let you know that I'm black or not, because you see it as soon as you see me. As somebody who, and I'm not saying you should have to hide your sexual preference, but what I'm saying is, if you are just plainly dressed as anybody else would be dressed walking down the street, I don't look at you and go, ooh, I don't like that gay. Because I don't know. But if you see me, if you don't like black people and you see me, you see me. Like, ain't
very much you can do.
So that's why I hate when we get lumped into. I'm like, look, the oppression is oppression. So I understand lumping the idea of oppression together. However, the visual representation is different, because you can not know. I don't know what anyone's sexual preference is until they tell me or show me. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean.
But everybody knows that I ain't white. There's no hiding it. Once you see me, it's like, ooh, yeah, he's got something that's made him brown.
Maybe he got a tan. Maybe he had a tanning booth.
I mean, look, and honestly, maybe I'm kind of light skinned enough where maybe somebody could be like, hey, bro, your tan is awesome. But for the most part, for the most part, you know, black people is like, hey, you know that person's black. An Asian person like, hey, you know that person is of some Asian descent. I don't know what your sexual preference is unless you tell me. Somehow tell me. So that's kind of why I hate when they get lumped together. Cause it's like, hey, look, man, can we just say both groups are oppressed? Hey, look, I'm with you. Celebrate Pride Month. I think it's dope that like 20 years ago, Pride Month was not nearly this. Nearly this. I think, anytime people get to live in their truth unapologetically, I am fucking for it. However, do not make me out to be an enemy just because I don't have a flag. That's it, man. That's that.
Nah, man, appreciate it. So, wow. So we talked about a little bit of white collar crime today. Talked a little bit of Pride Month. You know, definitely celebrating Pride Month this month. You know, I think we're gonna go ahead and call this a day. So once again, I'd like to thank everybody for listening to us today. Listening to the show. We're on every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch us on YouTube, Twitch. You can catch us on Facebook, that sort of thing. You can catch us at 5minutewarning.com. Podcast users out on the weekend. This is how we do. Please like and subscribe to us, definitely. That way you know when we go live, we are here and we are live.
And please do not chop this up and make me out to be the homophobic guy. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, I know you're gonna chop up a clip and somebody's gonna comment, look at this homophobic, blah 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 blah, and I'm be like, hey, that means you obviously don't know me, because anybody who knows me personally would know that is a very laughable statement.
Yeah, very much so. Also, speaking of which, hey, thank you to everyone. The loves on the clips, the comments, the likes, the shares, everything. Thank you for that. We can't do this show without you, because we could just sit here and talk to ourselves all day. But, we appreciate the fact that y'all interact and, y'all like what y'all see. So, once again, Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be here from 9 to whenever we decide to get off. Tell a friend, tell an enemy, just tell somebody about us. Hey, we do it big. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We are on Twitch. And of course, hey, it's time to get up out of here. So as we always do, peace, love, hair grease, soul, and deuces.
Email us at 5minutewarning19@gmail.com. And also leave comments on Facebook and Twitch. Search 5 Minute Warning. Contact us on Twitter at AG_FMW podcast, at Newsman25, at FMW 2019. Contact us on Instagram, Moby 5 Minute Warning, AG_5 Minute Warning, Newsman25. You can listen to the podcast at Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Thank you for listening. This has been another episode of
The 5 Minute Warning.